Now, I really do miss the good old Arby days. Back then, I used to fly the tier 7 Arby. And that ship is so iconic, honestly. And well, recently I decided to start flying the Arby again, although this is not the tier 7 Arby, this is the Arby Covertops 3, the tier 10 version of the ship. And well, in order to make the ship a bit more, let's say, a bit more unique and a bit more attractive, I did get some extra DPS there. In the medium slots, I have dual disruptors, and since the RB is kind of built to be a kiting ship with tracking disruptors, using the long range disruptors is definitely the way to go. 27.5 kilometers is more than enough. It's not that expensive to have these disruptors, and they do get the job done. Now the main thing about these boats are the tracking disruptors. Now I don't have any nanocore equipped, I don't have any, not nanocore, I don't have any implant equipped, but the Arby does get a bonus on the stats of the tracking disruptors, and a Arby that uses tracking disruptors with a tracking disruptor general unit is going to be very nasty. And I do have I actually bought the Bombard implant recently and I leveled it up, so this boat will have a lot more DPS now, and combining that with the tracking disruptors, the Arby is going to be pretty scary. Now the drones are the classic Mark 9 drones, the expensive ones are in the Stratus, and I'll borrow them for this video just to show the DPS, and I'll just quickly show the other modules. Overall, a fairly cheaply built Arby. As for the rigs, I just have the classic DPS rigs, drone firepower. I will have to replace that rig for triple speed augmenter. I think at the time when I bought this ship, I was a bit short on ISK when I was buying the rigs, so that's why I have the the tier 2 rigs, but that will be replaced with tier 3 rigs very soon. And as for the power grid rigs, definitely also need a change. I think I'll add more capacitor or more speed. After all, I don't use much power on this ship. At the time I had an idea to make it an active tank, but with tracking disruptors you will not take any damage because the target will not be able to hit you, since you know tracking disruptors do that with turrets. Now let me quickly borrow the drones from the Stratus, since I keep the more expensive drones on the Stratus, although the Stratus is kinda the more, I don't know, I use this ship to stealthily tackle stuff, that's why it has the more expensive drones. The Stratus has that advantage of having the insta lock-on ability when it decloaks. Basically you don't have any lock-on delay. Not instantly lock, but you don't have any lock-on delay, you don't have to wait for that to go down. So, how much DPS am I going to get with the Arby if I slap the more expensive offense drones? I have a bunch of them here, although not the optimal, but you know they get the job done. So yeah, and the hammerheads have the highest DPS, but I don't have them equipped at the moment. I don't have them bought actually. I lost the hammerhead that I used to have, and well, the DPS increase is actually pretty solid. Now with my Bombard tactic implant, my DPS is about 3,500 with the Arby, and yeah, that's some scary DPS indeed. Now in this video, I don't think I did use the Bombard implant because all the recordings have been made before I bought the implant. I basically recently bought it, and with the drone damage amplifier. However, the drone damage amplifier is not the most expensive one, of course. I don't have the Nest or drone damage amplifier, but I have the Imperial Navy one, which honestly that does get some very nice stats. And with the Bomber tactic, I also have the general units for the Imperial Navy damage amplifier, or for the amplifiers basically in general, and that increases the DPS even more. So yeah, now I have one damage control. This is basically a panic button. I thought about going full glass, and I can probably get away with going full glass on the Arby, but since I don't trust myself that often nowadays, because I'm not really, I don't know, I wasn't really in the right mood to play, but I still do PvP, and because of that, because from my previous experiences when I was not in the mood, I usually lose a ship when those days come, and in order to prevent me losing a ship, I have that I have that damage control, And when when I feel a bit, let's say, when I feel a bit happier, then I'll probably try to go with a full glass build, because then I would probably then I would probably play much better. Although I'll be also thinking about a capacitor battery. I think it has enough power for one. It doesn't, well, typical. For it has enough for a Republic Fleet capacitor battery. I thought about a build like this. Right, the Arby is back, and let's see who is going to be the first target. A Cynabal, perfect. Okay, so the Arby is built with dual tracking disruptors.
Warp drive
I have
active.
the thermal circulation implant because at the time of recording this I didn't buy the bombard reactor, but now now I do have it. So in the next Arby videos I'll probably be using that one. And the general unit equipped is the level 10 unit for tracking. So this Cynabal is about to have a very, and I mean a very bad day. Now that was a risky warp-in. I landed quite close to the Cynabal. Preferably when you land from your target, you don't want to be close within the web and scrambler range, especially if your ship is built for kiting. Range, speed, and tracking disruptors rely on the distance that you have. So that wasn't a good warp-in, but I was fast enough and I managed to get the Cynabal at distance, and now they have been pointed, and dual tracking disruptors are going to ensure that my ship isn't going to take any damage. Now, when I think about it now, that one adaptive armor hardener there is kind of overkill. I should have used the drone damage amplifier, but I didn't trust myself with going full glass. At least I don't trust myself to go full glass now, but in the next videos I'll probably be rolling the Arby with a full-on glass build. Now the Cynabal is using a Nosferatu. I think that's a medium one, however it also can be a large one, and by the looks of it, this Cynabal is using a, I would say, an active shield tank with an afterburner, although I'm not really sure what other modules they might be using. My guess, bunch of adaptives, a booster, and perhaps a gyro and an afterburner. That's just my guess. What that Cynabal is using. A medium or a large booster? I would say a medium one, but at the same time they do boost quite a bit, so it might be even a large booster. Now, I would love if the... actually no, never mind. I thought that you could actually see what size the module they are using. But you can't, it just shows you that they are using a Nosferatu. Now they did break tackle there for a moment because they're trying to align, they're trying to move around, but I actually think that they might be panicking because their ship is moving around in various different positions. They are in hull, but they are still boosting shield. I haven't taken a single hit from the Cynabal as expected. After all, the tracking disruptors are very nasty on this ship, and I'm around almost at their optimal range, so they do have a very good effect on the Cynabal, and the Cynabal was destroyed. Nice. That was a fun one. Let's take a look at the wreck, and then we can warp out. Oh, nice, I got some C-types. Lovely, always nice. Always a good day when I get some C-types. And the Cynabal actually finished the mission. I was very lucky to have warped on time. Could have missed the Cynabal, but I didn't.
Warp drive active.
So yeah, that was a very nice first catch. And well, that was the Arby's first target in a very long time, and was a good one. I honestly had a lot of fun. This ship is so fun. Honestly, there are a couple of ships that are iconic to me, and I'll come to that in a moment. First, let's take a look at the kill. 1.2 billion, not bad. A gyro stabilizer, an afterburner. That is a medium booster, okay. Well, not a bad build. Definitely a good PvE build. Definitely a good PvE build. I like it. I would just use a large Nosferatu, but overall it's a pretty good build. I like it. Now there are a couple ships that are very iconic to me. Ortrus, Arby, and I will say the Machariel, although the Machariel is one of the oldest ships that I have, but these three ships are the ships that I was flying a lot, and I got kind of known to be flying these ships, but the Arby primarily because I've learned PvP on the Arby, and the old Arby PvP videos that I made are classics. I wish that I was able to fly the ship again like I used to. Now this is a Condor interceptor. When I say that I wish I was able to fly it like I used to, I mean the stabs. Stabs basically ruined the Arby. But now back on the Condor. Now this Condor was baiting. They have a PvP build, and I didn't think that they expected a Stratus to lurk around, but they got webbed, they got scrambled, and my drones are not behaving properly. That's because I have set up the wrong orbiting distance. So let me pull back the drones, and I'll keep on shooting the... Oh, well, okay. I guess the missiles finished off the Condor Inti. Alright. So, that was a very nice catch as well. The interceptor was baiting. You will see when I'm talking about when I show you the... When I show you the kill. A pretty nice tackle build if I remember correctly. And the Stratus is also... The Stratus is good when the target is aligned and when you need stealth. Basically the best stealth tackle ship is the Stratus. And bombers, of course. 165 million is not bad. A classic PvP Condor build, and I like it. Dual points and a scrambler, perfect. Excellent little boat for kiting, honestly. And they also had the blue Nanocore, a budget PvP build. Honestly, it doesn't have to be expensive to be effective. Now next target we have an Astro. This Astro is lurking around in a exploration site. Now you should, and I definitely encourage players to camp exploration sites in low sec, because exploration became a bit wild lately. They have buffed it, and I'm not joking. Last run that I did, I made bank. I made 3.6 billion ISK from exploration. And a lot more players are actually doing it, so yeah, you can make bank if you catch one expensive Astro. There is Astro. Now, always breaks my heart when I have to tackle an Astro, but you know, that's just how it goes. That's just the food chain. You have the hunter and you have the hunted, I guess, and an Astro can drop some nice stuff, and I'm definitely not going to skip a chance to find an Astro. It's extra satisfying when you catch them in a site, because that's where the good stuff can drop. But unfortunately, this Astro wasn't, by the looks of it, that expensive. Although I did get some Sister of Eve debris, which is always nice to get. But you know, that seemed like a budget Astro build, which is, by the way, still effective. Doesn't have to be expensive. But if you're hunting, then you want them to be expensive. However, it doesn't have to be expensive if you find the Astro, because of the bonus that the ship gets. The Mark 7 explorers, the Mark 7 analyzers are more than enough. Alright, now let's jump on the good old big boy Mach, or the Machariel. I call it the Mach or Machariel, it's the same thing. The shortcut for the Machariel is Mach. Mach attack, that's basically how I came up with the Machariel series. Now usually I do feel like when a fight is going to be close, and I was watching this Machariel trying to figure out if I should take the Megatron or should I take my own Machariel, because I had that feeling that this might be a more serious target, and well, usually if you have that feeling, you should listen to that feeling. In most cases it's going to be pretty accurate. And well, as we can notice, this Machariel is quite the tanky one. My barrage is almost depleted, and I haven't even reached 50% shield yet, so yeah. And I have rammed the Machariel just in case to, you know, to get their attention. If they haven't noticed me now, they definitely noticed me ramming the ship, so...
We're under attack.
And I got webbed and scrambled, okay. And the mission ships felt bad for the Machariel, and they decided to light me up. That's the usual. I got used to it. Okay, damage control is running a little bit low. Okay, damage control is out. Machariel is in low shield. I am in 58% shield. Okay.
We're under attack.
34% shield. Machariel at 1% shield. Now they're in armor. Okay. And now I should do more. I should do more damage on the armor of the Machariel. But I'm also in armor. And I'll also be taking more damage on armor because that's just how I built the ship. 61% armor. Machariel is in hull. I'm low armor. Machariel is in about... Well, I covered the screen with this. Oh well. The Machariel is about to get destroyed, and there we go. Close one, but not too bad. I had closer fights.
Warp drive active.
I would loot, but I just don't want to take more hull damage. That was a close one. So, I'm very interested to see the build on that Machariel. I have to admit, that was a tanky one. That was a tanky one, and as I always say, a good tank will win against high DPS, and this was a close one. The only reason why I won that fight was because I started to shoot a lot earlier. But, you know, that's just how it goes. Rock, paper, scissors game, and... Yikes. Integrated for tank. That explains the tank, I guess. This was a tanky one. That's a good build. That's a tanky Machariel. Alright, well. Now I guess I'll have to wait out with low or with hull damage. But in the end, that was a fun one. And I felt like, while I was looking at the Machariel with my Astro, I thought to myself, well, this is gonna be a close one. And when I feel like it's going to be a close one, I usually take the Megatron, because I would rather lose a Megatron than a Machariel. I don't really care about the Megatron, but the Machariel is old boat, 3-year-old boat that was built by one of my previous corp mates that I respect a lot, and I do respect the ship that they made. And since I have so many good memories from those days, I just will try to keep this ship alive for as long as possible. But at the same time, I'll also use it because, you know, that's just I believe what this ship was meant to be used for PvP. Now our Machariel friend here actually returns for revenge, and you are going to be very interested to see the build that they picked this time. Now obviously they didn't seem to have a lot of tank this time around, and this was fast. This was much faster than the previous time. So let's warp out and let's see the build. Now I believe you will be very surprised when you see what kind of build they have. The build that they have now is, I'll admit, a bit scary. The build that they had this time around was a bit scary, and you will see why when I land here. Now I also have to take a look at how many points we had, because I just have to make sure something that I missed last time. So 3.3 billion, okay, not bad, pretty good kill value. Now DPS, active tank, dual scramblers, and watch this, a Death Wish core. Yikes. Now, did they use the Death Wish for stabs, or did they use the Death Wish core for points? If they used them for points, they had about 15 15.1 points on the death wish score if it's not upgraded. If it's upgraded, up to 20 points. So yeah, that's why I say a scary build, because potentially they had a lot of points, or potentially they also had a lot of steps. I don't know which one of these did they pick. I think they picked points, but I could be wrong. So next we have 3 ships. We have one Phantasm and we have one Rattlesnake. Now they're both in a fleet, and our friend here is going to tackle them. Oh, they already tackled. I was a bit later. I was waiting for the X in
Warp drive
in
active.
chat to appear, but they have already been fighting. Okay, now I think the Phantasm already died, but the Rattlesnake is still there. I'll just write burn Phantasm with bombs. Don't worry, my friend is good. One of the best players that I know. Truly a honor to be able to fly with the best of the best that the game has to offer. And there is the Rattlesnake. The Phantasm is dead, perfect. My friend did a fantastic job with the Phantasm, and now the big boats will break the tank of the Rattlesnake. And you guessed it. Guess who will be the... well, I mean, you guessed it probably. I'm the primary target for the Rattlesnake. Now the Rattlesnake has the drone bombs as well, and they decided to use them on me, but thankfully the damage control is helping a lot at reducing the drone bomb damage. And there we go. There goes the Rattlesnake. Beautiful. That was a good kill. Okay, let's warp out.
Warp drive active.
And let's take a look at the Phantasm. 1.2 billion, excellent. Was kinda a PvP Phantasm build. Star's microphone, well, we are not getting that microphone unfortunately. And a 3.1 billion Rattlesnake kill. This one was full DPS and actually kinda scary, since a Rattlesnake can have a lot of DPS with the bombs, but thankfully I had the damage control, so I was able to absorb a lot of that incoming damage. That was nice action. Next target, we have
Warp drive active.
a... what is this? I think I'm looking at the chat. We didn't talk about the next target. Looks like we have an Apocalypse striker, I believe, that logged out in space. Oh no! A sleepy Apocalypse. You know, there's something satisfying about catching a ship that logs out on the gate in space. There's something satisfying about it. I don't know why, it's just satisfying. And it looks like a pretty expensive one. We will take a look at and I forgot the barrage implants. Lovely. Well, that's just me. I forget implants usually. It happens. Oh, hello. It's not going to take much to break the tank of an Apocalypse striker. Especially a sleeping one, sleepy Apocalypse. And yeah, there you can take a look at the hull. Looks like the Neon Rain core. Definitely looks like the Neon Rain core, but I might be wrong. Oh well, anyway, let's warp out. That was a lovely catch. Fantastic work fantastic scanning work to my friend. He did a fantastic job with... I mean, you should... I don't wanna say any secrets, but we have some of the best combat scanners in the game. These guys can catch everything, and I'm not joking. They can catch a Dramiel logging out on the gate without breaking a sweat. Honestly, it's an honor to be able to fly with them. It's so much fun. Let's take a look at the kill. 3.4 billion. A pulse laser apocalypse. That's interesting. I expected beam lasers. Dual painters. A tier 4 rig. And a clear sky core. I was convinced that that looked like the neon rain core. Oh well. It's still a pretty good core and looked like a pretty good kill. Alright, let's see. We have a Typhoon. Or Typhoon. Did I just... Oh my god. That sounded so bad. My apologies. Alright, we have a Typhoon there. My friend will be the tackle. Usually... Well, usually... Actually, never mind. I don't wanna say any secrets out there. But this time, I'm the Machariel. Usually we are both Machariels, but you know, and this also works. I'm still working to get the Machariel Deathwish nanocore because that's just how much I like that nanocore. The look of the Deathwish nanocore is just awesome. I thought about buying the Weep core for the Machariel, although I didn't because I didn't really like how where the character was placed. The character was kind of separate in two pieces, but I'll definitely regret that decision if they change where the character is placed on the Machariel. If it was placed a bit up front when there is enough room for the picture to be placed, then it would look awesome. And I think that's what they'll do. So maybe I'll buy that nanocore for the Machariel. I don't know.
Drive active.
We'll find out, I guess, at one point. Alright, Typhoon is okay, Typhoon is tackled. I almost messed up. Typhoon is tackled. There we go. I have to be fast because Typhoons never underestimate a Typhoon. These things kill cruisers. No matter how tanky they are, a Typhoon is always going to be extremely dangerous to a cruiser because Typhoons have the best missile damage application, and when a Typhoon wants to kill you, it will kill you. I learned that the hard way when a Typhoon almost popped my Ortus from 150 kilometers. And ever since then, I have massive respects to Typhoons because these ships can be very, very dangerous and very scary. And the Typhoon is one of my favorite hulls in the game. I haven't used one for PvP, but I do plan to use the tier 9 Typhoon to run around and blow up ships, basically. I mean, the thing that I usually do. But yeah, the Typhoon is honestly a very scary ship. Alright, perfect. Let's align somewhere in space and let's turn on the micro wardrobe. Let's take a look at the kill. 669, I mean, nice. Now this Typhoon's build was a bit weird. Why did they have a red scanner? I mean, they had a red scanner but still didn't scan and didn't check their surroundings, which was kind of weird. I get that it's smart to have a red scanner because it is allowing you to basically see if someone is hunting you. A very important thing that you can do. However, that Typhoon didn't scan, which resulted in we killing the ship. We catching the ship. Alright, now we are waiting for the fleet warp. Okay, there we go. I think we have another Rattlesnake. Now this Rattlesnake was... I think they escaped the first time, not really sure what exactly happened. I think they just warped out on their own. No one scared them. But sometimes they just warp out on their own. Not really sure why that happens, but they do. And we have been waiting for the ship to return from the right warping, of course, and now we are on our way. The Rattlesnake can be a very tough to crack ship, and I usually, when I'm solo, I usually prefer to use a Megathron against the Rattlesnake, but when we are in a fleet, I usually go with a Machariel because, well, multiple Machariels with barrage just burns through tank. Sometimes we don't burn through tank, but that's a very rare That's a very rare thing because most, unfortunately, don't have a good tank. And the Rattlesnake got destroyed. Alright, nice. I actually also thought about buying a Balgorn that will be built for hunting basically. However, I don't really like to use the Balgorn in that way because the Balgorn does work the best if you use it for
Warp
full
drive
E-War.
active.
However, since I have to be able to counter stabs, I also have to basically sacrifice 3 slots for Scramblers, which leaves me with what, 1 web and 1 Nosferatu, which would probably not work well on a Balgorn. So I'm not really sure how to pull the Balgorn off without buying one of the expensive nanocores, but I'll figure something out eventually. 2.9 billion.
Warp
And this
drive
was a
active.
decently tanked Rattlesnake, although... Oh no, they had one missile rig. Don't fit missile rigs on the Rattlesnake. Fit drone rigs, because the Rattlesnake does like 80% of damage from the drones and 20% damage from the missiles. Rattlesnake yeets with drones. Don't fit missile
Warp
skills
drive
on Gurista pirate ships. It's not good. Alright, well, next we have a Raven. Should be pretty easy. Should be a pretty easy target. I say that lightly because a Raven can be quite tanky. Although, I'm fairly sure that we will be able to burn through this Raven quite easily. Alright, let's go for the Raven. Barrage engaged. Approaching. Well, this feels like a tanky one. Okay, it's interesting. I was doing little damage there, perhaps because of the barrage implant reducing the range. Could be, that's probably the case. And there goes the Raven. Nice catch, nice tackle, perfect fleet warp. And now it would time to warp out.
Warp drive active.
So far, a pretty good run. Someone asked me about a Cloaky Machariel, potentially having a special edition battleship. I looked at the Evoline ship tree and I didn't find any Black Ops Machariel, unfortunately. But you know, that's probably not going to stop our developers from making one anyways. So yeah, it would be very funny if we actually got that. Now, next target we have a Rattlesnake, and I'll just show you one of my fails here. So I said that I usually take the Megatron when I have to fight a Rattlesnake. Well, this is one of the moments where I should have taken the Machariel instead of the Megatron. Mostly because the Machariel was simply faster. But you know, I show you my mistakes so that you learn from them and so that you don't repeat them. So, the Megatron Striker is good when you have an exact warping on your target. Basically, you have to land within the 14-kilometer distance that your Scrambler has a range of. Now, if you land a bit far away, there's a good chance that the target will escape, because the Megatron is, you know, it's a slow ship, it's not fastest. It's a battleship. It's not like a cruiser in the skin of a battleship like the Machariel. The Machariel has no issues with rushing towards the target because that thing is actually ridiculously fast. However, this big boat is, well, after all, well, it is a big boat, so I'm not really that surprised that it is slow. But if I had the Machariel, I would be within Scrambler range and the ship wouldn't have warped out. But you know, it happens, not a big deal. And learn from my mistake. If you don't have an exact warping, don't take a slow ship, or if you have to take a slow ship, make sure you have a alt that's scouting the target so that you can find the closest warping so that you can still get within that optimal range. And of course, important change that they made, you can't log out in space if you have criminal timer, so the log off trap
Warp
that I
drive
imagined is not going to work. But you know, not a big deal, happens. I'll catch the Rattlesnake next time. So, back in the Stratus, our target is a Dramiel. Now, the grid feels empty, but I can assure you, there is a bunch of Stratus cruisers lurking around, creeping up on that Dramiel. And it's kind of funny when you think about it, because one Dramiel and potentially 3 Stratus cruisers lurking around, creeping up, waiting for the right moment to strike. And this is what I love about the Stratus. It's sneaky. It is ridiculously sneaky, and it is honestly very fun to fly this thing, especially in a fleet, because you can surprise so many players. No one expects a Stratus to just pop in out of the blue. And well, element of surprise is basically your main weapon on the Stratus. I have 3 webs and a scrambler.
We're under
Now my drone's
attack.
kind of glitched out here, not really sure what happened, but in any case, it was a perfect tackle, and I love how the Dramiel had no idea what happened. That poor Dramiel. I actually sometimes feel bad when
Warp
we
drive
just
active.
squash a frigate like that, because they had no chance to react. And that's the magic of the Stratus. You basically don't have time to react if a Stratus tackles you. And combine that with the drum bombs, you get yourself a pretty nasty little boat. A very nasty little boat, and I love it. But the Arby will be used as well, so yeah. Okay, 467 million is a classic PvE anti-scan Dramiel. Now, a Dramiel is actually a very good choice for PvE. It has the smallest signature radius, and if you give the Dramiel emission rigs
Warp
to reduce
drive
the
active.
signature, or not signature, but to reduce the scan signature, you can basically make a scan-proof anti-scan PvE ship that is ridiculously hard to scan down. You might be asking me, how hard? Well, you need a Nestor to scan it down. You might be wondering, well, how a Nestor? That's a battleship. Should a battleship have a rough time to scan down small ships? Well, the Nestor has one of the best scanning
Warp drive
stats in the
active.
game. I think it actually outperforms the scanner on the Astro and on the Stratus. The other alternative would be a Astro with tier 4 scanning rigs and with a scanning core, in order to be able to scan a anti-scan Dramiel with the proper build. That's how difficult it is to scan down a Dramiel, and that's why these little ships are popular for PvE. They offer they also offer incredible safety for low-sec mission running, and you can do something similar with the Cynabal and basically with a lot of other cruisers. Although they can be scanned down by an Astra, but the average hunter, the average pirate that uses a cruiser or a frigate will notify you when they scan. Basically, you will get a notification when they scan you. So that's one of the tricks how you can survive in low sec. And one of the other tricks that I always mention is move around. Don't be stationary. Always be aligned. Flow around, orbit. And this is exactly what this battlecruiser pilot is doing. Now I was looking around trying to find out the best warp units that I can get, and well, there is no warping, and I love a good challenge. I love when the target is difficult to catch, because I just love to see players play skillfully. And that might sound weird, because you might be thinking, well, if they're playing smart, then you might get less kills. I don't mind getting less kills if other players are having more fun, and if they can survive low sec. If they can survive our hunters, they can survive everything. And yeah, again, I have the honor, and I have the chance to fly with the best of the best in the game, and I learned from the best of the best. So, I mean, I think you guys know who I'm talking about. Now, I don't want to give out any secrets, although they're not really secrets, but you know, out of respect to my friends, I'm just, you know, I'm not going to reveal exactly who I'm talking about, because of the respect that I have towards them. I don't want to make them any trouble there. Now, I'm slowly creeping up on the battlecruiser. Now, I'm fairly sure that they have an afterburner. However, I can be wrong. I can always be wrong, but based on the thousands of ships that I've seen, I'm fairly sure that they have an afterburner. Now, that battlecruiser, the Cavalry Tier 8 assault battlecruiser, isn't really known to be fast. Although the assault battlecruisers can actually be very, very fast if they have a large micro warbrick. Basically, the way how to fight them: slap a large micro warbrick and slap the long range large turrets, and that's the way to go, because that thing is really difficult to catch. Now, thinking about it, they do seem kinda slow. I mean, the Stratus is one of the slowest, if not, actually no, it's the slowest cruiser in the game. And one thing that I don't like about the Stratus is its speed. It's slow. So approaching something stealthily like this is going to be a bit challenging. You basically have to intercept their trajectory. Now I have for some reason I think my what was it called, tactical overlay is bugged, and it doesn't show the grid. The tactical overlay is extremely important because it can show the direction that the target is moving, and you can use that to your advantage to intercept them. Now, since I don't have that enabled for some reason, I'll just have to rely on the old school way and basically look at the ship, have a visual on the ship. Thankfully, the battlecruiser is big, so I can see the ship even at 24 kilometers. Now, since I'm getting a bit worried here that they might finish the mission before I reach the tackling distance, one of my friends here is going to warp in, and hopefully that will scare the battlecruiser away, so that I can relocate the warp in, and basically then I can camp the mission at a better distance. Basically wait for them to warp back. 2 ships left and still approaching. Yeah, definitely if we don't scare the battlecruiser, they are warping. They will finish the mission if we don't scare them, and that battleship is losing shield. One thing that you can do while cloaked, you can attempt to lock any ship basically, and you can see their shield, hull, and armor stats basically, which can give you some important intel on how to approach target, on how to basically develop the tactic, and it also does show you how much time you have. Now this is wave 3, so once these 2 ships are dead, the mission is going to be over and the ship can warp out. Now, since we don't want that to happen, we will have to, we have no other choice really. We have to scare the battlecruiser because there is no warp-in, there is no good spot for a double warp. They are moving, so even the double scan trick will not work because of their constant moving. So the only way, the other way is to scare them and then hope that they come back from a different spot that we can camp. Which, you know, is one of the tricks that that we do use when necessary. We have so many different tactics and ideas. I mean, again, I learned a lot of things in this game from the best, and I applied a lot of their ideas and tactics. Some of these tricks I've learned from EVE Online. Some of the tricks I've learned and expanded in this game. Which is, you know, every day you learn something new, and hopefully, yeah, okay, this worked, perfect. So, they have been scared, and now let's go back to the battlecruiser at 100.
Warp drive active.
Okay, they warp back. Excellent. Right where I wanted them to be. Within the tackle range. Now I will slowly approach. Just a little bit, and okay, time to engage. Scrambled, webbed, orbiting at 0, drones are out. Open fire, there we go. Second Stratus popped out, perfect. The battlecruiser lost shield, they're now into armor. And hold, there we go. That was perfect. Exactly the way I wanted to go. That was a good catch. That was a good catch. A bit tricky to get this ship. I have to admit, the pilot did a good job to evade us, but the mistake was to warp back at 100 because we were waiting at that exact, well, not exactly at that distance, but we were lurking nearby, quite close, and we
Warp drive
did
active.
catch ship. All right, lovely. So let's take a look at the kill. 536 million, not bad. No, they didn't have any afterburn or any micro warp drift. Okay, that's I actually expected them to have a micro warp drift or after, but in any case, that was a good catch. All right, well, that was a very lovely little run today. Honestly, had a blast. Had so much fun flying the Arby again. The Arby will make a return. I mean, the Arby kinda already returned, but I do plan to fly that ship a lot more. Especially since I also love the way how the tracking interceptors work. I also have the bombard tactic implant. I basically improved all of my drone boats, and I will improve them even more with some of the new skills that I'm working on right now. But in any case, hope you guys enjoyed this this little run. Honestly, it was a very fun PvP run today, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed. If you want to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. It does help out a lot. And with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.